the title of the album, Dear Amelia, there's actually a song called Amelia.
Yes.
Character that you're kind of tying into the theme?
Yes. Amelia is basically, so I had this whole thing with the album called Letters to Amelia, where I would write letters to Amelia and post them on my Instagram, but then I also gave fans the opportunity to write to Amelia. Basically, you write a letter, you mail it to this address, and the letter gets burned or like thrown out. It's like a whole therapeutic thing. And to me, like, Amelia is a part of my brain that, like, I am basically nagging and telling all my problems to, and like writing them. Like, every song is like a letter addressed to Amelia. And basically at the end with Amelia, the song, I've put so much pressure on this person, which is actually like a part of my brain, that she just like disappears basically, and I've lost this element of myself, which is Amelia. On the last song, I wrote it about suicide, actually. Sorry to get really deep, dark, but it's about suicide and losing someone that way, and it's kind of a call and response song. So the verses are me talking to this person, and the choruses are vocodered. And if you can tell as the song goes on, the vocoder starts getting louder and the voice starts getting quieter until
it starts off with like this piano ballady thing,
exactly.
Right? And then all of a sudden this atmosphere comes in.
Yes, and at the end it's just pure vocoder, and it's supposed to symbolize like losing the sound of someone's voice, because once you've like been without them for a certain amount of time, you kind of just lose their voice, and it's kind of like how you lose that person that is like yourself. And it could be used as like, you think about a friend, and like when you talk to like a friend and it's all about yourself, and they're like, fuck, like, can I talk too? There's definitely a lot of things you can relate, people, and whether it's yourself or another person, you can relate Amelia to, which I think is cool.
Was the subject of suicide something that you went through personally?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I have noticed over the past couple of years, not noticed, but I've lost a lot of people to suicide, and I don't know, there's no way of really like, I don't even know what like, people that I knew like a long time ago, or people that I knew more recently, that just like,
we're struggling.
Yeah, we're struggling, and like, I didn't even know. And it's like, God, like, right. And then you see it happen, and I've had these like moments in my life where I was like, I don't want to be alive anymore. Like, count me out, I'm gone. But then someone like close to you takes their life, and you're like, like,
yeah. And the fact that you don't know, right? There are no signs and all these things,
have
right?
no clue.
Yeah.
A lot of the time you just don't know, but then you think back and you're like,
right.
How did I not know?
Right. But there's always this facade that people put on, and I feel like social media plays into that as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
And people post things on their stories, and they're very selective in terms of what they show, and you think everything's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, something happens, and we've seen a lot of that as recent as the last 6 months with people in the spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people that are not in the spotlight that are dealing with a lot more heavier things that we have no idea about.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty insane how much, especially with social media, I think social media does a lot of good, but I think it does a lot of evil too.
Yeah.
Some days I'm like, I'm just not going to go on social media.
Yeah. That's the way I've been.
Yeah. I'm like, this isn't going to do anything good for me.